Hello fellow traders, and welcome to another trade review with Tracy. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you that if you find value in these videos, click the like button below, click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you will be notified of any future content that I upload. As usual, I welcome all of your comments, questions, tips, and tricks. Just throw them in the comments below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Also, if there's a trade that you would like me to review, stock that you'd like me to review, please put that in the comments below along with the date that you'd like me to review. If you played it and you'd like some feedback on how you played it, please also put what you did, your entry, your exit, how you managed the trade, and I'd be happy to do that in my subscribers' weekly trade review at the end of the week. So happy trading, everybody. Manage your risk and take care. Hey everyone, and welcome to the weekly subscriber trade review. And CrowdStrike was requested by Mo, and he wanted to know, can you please review CrowdStrike for possible gap after earnings? Now, this isn't really the kind of review that I wanted to be doing or like doing. I will do it this time, but I typically would rather have trades that have already been done that I can review and go over, and we can learn from the mistakes or learn from the things that worked. In this particular case, it's more of a crystal ball. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen with CrowdStrike after earnings or coming up into earnings. Anything's possible. So remember that. I can explain my thinking around CrowdStrike, but I won't be trading it over earnings. And basically what I'm looking at right now is the monthly chart of CrowdStrike. And as you can see from the March low, it's gone straight up, just like the markets. It's been very bullish. And there hasn't been a real good pullback yet. So as far as I'm concerned, it's due. When it's going to happen, I don't know. I mean, we could get another few months of straight up. We could get a pullback next month. We could get a pullback at any time. I don't know. But right now, as far as levels are concerned, it's really difficult to find some decent levels because we don't have a pullback. So right now, I mean, if we do a fib level here, the fib level on here, the pullback hasn't been into the 382 or the 5 or the 618 level, and that's where I'd like to see a good strong pullback, and from there I can pull my fib extensions. At this point, I don't really have anything to target up top. Now, that being said, if we look at the weekly chart, you can see there's a nice bit of consolidation. And earnings on CrowdStrike isn't until September 4th, I believe. Let me just look at this. So September 4th is the next earnings report. It says the 31st, but it's not till the 4th of September, at least over on the right-hand side here, it says that. Now, if price action is still up in this area around the 4th of September, then I would expect that if it gapped up, there'd be a sell-off. If it gapped down into this area, it would be bought back up. Depending on the earnings, it's pretty bullish. I think that it's packaged software. I mean, that's a great industry right now that's really benefiting from this stay-at-home work environment. So if it gaps up, I would expect that it would sell off and retest this resistance that now support. So let's just say if it gaps, a gap up into here or higher, the higher up it gaps, I think that the more it'll pull back. But if it gaps up above this area, I would expect it to be a fade pretty much the entire day. If it gaps into this location, I would anticipate or hope and look for something along this line where it retests this area and then possibly makes a move higher. So I'd like to see that retest if it goes. That's if price stays in this particular area right before earnings. If it doesn't do that, and let's say that price is down in this area, then I would think, so let's just say that price is down Let's just assume price makes it down into this area here. Let's just make that green. So if price is down in this area here, I would hope that this consolidation area would be good support. And if it gapped up from that area, then you would have an opportunity to test this high and possibly drive further. So that if it gaps down if it prices down in this particular area before earnings and then gaps up, I would think that it would have more opportunity to move forward. It would be able to gap and go, or gap up and continue to move higher. If it gaps up above the high again, I think it's too high or too big of a gap, and I would expect a retest down further before moving up. If price is down in this area and we gap lower, then I would expect a retest of the 55.67 area, possibly this area right in here as well. So any one of these support levels, you can see one here. I have this blue line as a support, which I got off the weekly or the monthly. Oh, and that's the IPO low. So that's a good support level as well. And if it breaks that, of course, it can go lower. So the levels that I would have as far as targets are concerned would be this wick right here. 70.86. I'd have another level at 55.92, and of course this gap fill at 87.81, depending on where it fills or where it gaps, and if it goes lower. I do believe it'll get bought up. Wherever it goes, I don't believe that it's just going to all of a sudden plummet. I think CrowdStrike is a good company and they've got great potential, but right now where it's at, there's a lot of profitability in it, and if it does gap up over earnings, I would expect it to sell off or fade, retest some of these lows, possibly even fill this gap, and then move forward. So that's pretty much what I have on CrowdStrike. Now we can take a look at the daily. Yeah, and even the daily, if you look at the daily, the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 days. So I believe the price action right here is kind of building in for good earnings. Might already be built into the price at that point. All right, so that's pretty much my analysis on CrowdStrike, and hopefully it helps. You're responsible for your own trading, so I'm not sure what strategies you want to use, but as far as I'm concerned, that's what I would be looking for. If we get a gap up in prices in this area, regardless if we get a gap up, I expect it to retrace, test some prior resistance, and then possibly move higher. But I'm bullish on CrowdStrike. If it gaps down, that's a great opportunity for buying. All right, now this concludes this segment. Happy trading, folks.